It's said that the spirit of the Mayan ancestors haunt these hills. It was from the rich soil of the Mayans that the Guatemala of today emerged. A proud people and a proud country. It is a country of stark contrast, the richest of all the Central American countries in terms of natural resources, but 85% of the population lives in poverty. Smoke clouds the sky and vultures fill the air as a repulsive stench permeates the area surrounding the Guatemala City dump. While the dump's residents go about the daily routine of scavenging to survive, an American woman goes about her chosen work of trying to make a difference here.
People make their houses out of cardboard or out of plastic bags or whatever, but they're usually pushed away and they have to build again in another place because the government comes in and plows through here. And they'll just plow through their homes if they need to. There's a stove on the left that they build from whatever they find there on the dump. You can imagine how sterile that is.
Kari Engen left her hometown of Rockville, Maryland in 1987 and set out on her own to fulfill a spiritual mission. This is her story. A story documented by filmmaker John Bafar. A presidential election first brought him to Guatemala in 1989. But soon after meeting Kari, he switched his focus and spent the next 9 years documenting her life and those around her. What follows is the end result of that effort.
Hello. They've been born there, raised there, they've married there, they have their own kids there, and it's their life, you know, and it's just been kind of a mundane thing all the time that they don't see any hope of getting a better situation and getting out of there.
To give them hope, Kari has devoted her life to the children of the Fourth World. In a place that's without running water, full of disease, and notoriously dangerous.
It can be violent, you know, you really have to pray hard when you go down there. You have people there that rob and steal, and they steal from the other homes, they burn down the other homes. They've had machete killings and machete fights. And some of the kids have told me, oh, we found my uncle down there. He was buried under the trash and they killed him the other night. You know, and they talk about all the blood. They don't talk about skinned knees or cut fingers. They talk about the dead people, you know, and all the blood that they see down there.
The eerie images, the cries from the children's hunger, and the faces of despair, they all tell a story of life in the Fourth World. But amongst all this filth and darkness is a light that shines on the people of the Fourth World. It's called Mi Refugio. She began her mission work in Mexico, working with orphans while she was still in high school. Kari says it was divine inspiration that brought her here to Guatemala.
When I was younger, I would watch the TV and I'd see all those announcements, you know, for like the hungry and all the starving children in the world, and I really had a desire to want to help them. It was more of a desire to help the poor, not just the hungry, but right?
As a king is born to the throne, so are the children born to the dump. Their world is a birthright they never asked for. They are the dump's most tragic victims. But at 7:30 each morning, those victims now have hope, because that's when their school day begins at Mi Refugio. seems lost until Paul Bush, a businessman from the United States, hears about Kari's needs and decides to help. He gives her the money she needs to put a deposit on her own piece of property in San Pedro. Soon, others also contribute to the cause of purchasing 12 acres of greenery located a 30-minute drive from the dump. After more than a year of not having a school to go to, the day has finally come to start up again. The children line up before dawn at the original trade school. They are transformed from dump children to clean-cut school children once again. A good education is what will help the children break free of the dump's deadly grip. That education also comes in the form of vocational skills that allow the children to earn a steady income outside the dump.
Kari's helped us a lot in our schooling, and she's also helped my parents, who work in the dump and don't make enough money. Kari's helped me since I was a little girl.
Kari's assistance has not only been gratefully received, but it has also inspired some students to make career choices for their future. Kari left home to follow her heart, but in it she carries along the encouragement from family and friends who continue to support and inspire her. Kari constantly reminds me that without the heart and hard work of the dedicated Guatemalan staff, none of this would be possible.
Amazing that God has touched and has brought them to help this ministry to grow and to become what it is today. It's His ministry, and I believe that God is the one that touches the lives of the people. And He's touched my parents' life by allowing them to be so supportive of my being in this country, in Guatemala.
Some who don't understand her mission often ask the question, why Guatemala when people are suffering in the United States? The answer, it seems, is that Kari's heart knows no borders.
I think a lot of people ask me why I'm here in Guatemala, but I think it just comes from your heart, and you just need to follow that and know that God is there in each one of our hearts. We'll just look for Him, and He's going to lead us to love wherever we are and whatever we do.
Above all, Kari keeps in mind the vision she had when she first decided to open Mi Refugio.
The vision that He gave me was a vision of a whole bunch of kids on a hill, and they were all coming down. It was like a sea of kids. They were all smiling, you know. They were all poor, but they hardly had any clothes on, you know. They didn't have any shoes on. But the one thing that I did notice in them is that they were smiling, and that's the blessing that God gave me through that vision, is the kids smiling. And I believe that through this school that He's provided and all the needs that He's given, that we can see a hope and a future given to these children.
Kari has been described by many as meek. But to me, it's amazing what one woman from a foreign country has been able to accomplish in the most hopeless conditions. It makes me wonder what the world would be like if each of us followed our own hearts to help out in whatever way we can. Because I know now and have proof that one person really can change the world. Demos gracias al Señor.